Hi, Seth David here again, and this is going to be part 2 to the introduction to the 12 steps to success that I want to start exploring with whomever chooses to join me on this journey. And we're going to be able to blog about it. I'm going to record these videos, talk about it, and then invite you to come to a blog which I'm going to give out. I'm going to set up a new blog just for this, based on the steps to success, and I want to invite people to come in and write in and tell me what you think, tell me what you'd like to hear more of, and tell me what you'd like to hear less of, and maybe I'll listen. No, I'm kidding, of course I'll listen. It's important stuff. But before I actually get into the first step even, I feel it's important, because I'm calling this steps to success, to define what is success. What does success mean? To a lot of different people, it could mean a lot of different things. I've heard an expression that says, success is getting what you want, but happiness is wanting what you have. And I believe in that, but personally I like to actually take it a step further, which is to say that success is happiness, which means it means both getting what I want and wanting what I have. That's true success to me. Now, I've worked with a lot of different people that range across a broad spectrum in terms of people, lifestyles, businesses, and I've known people in my personal life also that fill in a wide spectrum in terms of lifestyles and philosophies and things that people like to do and don't like to do, what they're into, what they're not into. And the point I'm trying to make is that I've known people who made no money and who were very happy and very spiritual. They were just very content with where they were in the moment that they were in on any given day. You can call them up and speak to them, and they're always calm. You know the type of person I'm talking about. And they don't necessarily need to make a lot of money to be happy. And that holds true. And then I've known, and I still know, clients of mine who it's never enough. No matter how much they make, they just want to double that. They just want to keep making more and more and more, and they never once stop in the moment and say, wow, this is incredible what I've accomplished. And I never hear the gratitude. I never hear them say, I'm so grateful that I've been able to accomplish what I've accomplished. That's one of the things that I'm fortunate in my life to have a lot of people around me who constantly remind me of that. Because I'll get stuck in that. I'll get stuck in, it's never enough. I don't have enough. I need more. And I have people to remind me, Seth, look where you came from. You had nothing at 28. Now you're 38. You have a home, a wife, 3 dogs. My wife herself is the one who frequently has to remind me to look around myself and look at the beautiful home that I live in. So it's really important, I think, to find a balance between the two extremes that I'm describing, because the spiritual guy may be very spiritual and may be very content until he has the first experience, if not many experiences, in which he has to struggle to find, where am I going to get the money to pay the electric bill this month? And I've seen that happen. I've got a good friend who I admire a lot because he has no interest in a big grandiose career. He has a decent job, he makes a fair amount of money, and he's happy. The important thing to him is to go home and be with his family. He's got a wife, he's got kids, and this is where his happiness is. And he also experiences financial struggles from time to time. That part I don't envy, but I do envy the part in him where he's happy and content to just go be with his family, and that's what matters to him. So my message is that I think happiness, success, and happiness come together when you find a true balance between the two things, between being ambitious and wanting to have a career, wanting to have nice things, wanting to be able to take nice vacations, and probably most importantly, not having to worry about how am I going to pay the bills. And trust me, I still have those struggles today. I still, every month when I pay the mortgage, I shouldn't say every month, but often when I pay the mortgage, I sit there and I say, is this really worth it? I ask myself that question, and then I have to remind myself that it is worth it. Even though I'm paying a mortgage for a house that's worth a lot less than what I bought it for today, I have to remind my clients and other people that I talk to, and then I have to remind myself of the same thing that I'm constantly counseling them on, which is, as long as I'm not looking to sell the house, it's not an issue, and I'm not looking to sell my house. So perspective is everything. If I was desperate to sell my house, then I'd have a real problem on my hands, but that just means I have to find a solution to that problem and move on. So that's really what I want to stress about this whole series that I'm going to talk about, is understanding what it means to be successful. Because it doesn't just mean making a lot of money. And I know it's cliche to say that, but I'm also very careful here to point out, it also doesn't mean being broke. It means finding the right balance, making enough money that I don't have to worry about paying my bills, but more importantly than that is enjoying what I'm doing to make the money. Because I can go and sign up, and in the last video I knocked the marketing programs, the MLMs a little bit. I didn't actually mention MLMs. I have no problem with MLMs. I think they're great. I think for certain people they're wonderful. I've known people who've made a ton of money and live really happy lives with that. The problem I have is when I hear some of the pitches that are given from people in this program, in these programs, that would have you believe that if you don't buy into their MLM, you're screwed. That's where I start to break off and say, I have a problem with that, because that's not true. It's just not true. MLMs are great if it's in your personality and if it's in your character and in your makeup to want to go do something like that. If you really love the sales and you really love the prospecting and building the relationships with people, then that's for you, and you should absolutely pursue that. My whole message, as I mentioned in the previous video though, is not to buy into what somebody else says you need to do to be happy, but to find it within yourself, because everything you need to succeed is already inside you. It's already there inside you. It's just a matter of going inside yourself, finding it, and bringing it out. And what that really translates to, as I mentioned at the very end of the last video, and I'm going to talk about it because it's really the core of the first step that I'm going to get into in the next few days when I record that video, is passion. You have to find what makes you passionate, what drives you, what gets you going. You know, I wake up every day now and I can't wait to get to my emails and see what messages I've got, because to a large extent that's my connection with people. I get emails from people, I send emails out, I get something back, and I connect with people that way. Somebody sends me an email saying, I need your help with X, Y, and Z. And I get so excited because I get an opportunity to be of service. Yes, I'm charging for it, but the point is that I get an opportunity to really help someone, and if I've done my job well, then by the time I'm done and I send them the bill, they're happy to pay it because I've done a good job and they know it's worth every penny, if not more than what they paid for it. That's the point. And that's what makes me happy. If I go out there and I'm doing something I don't really believe in and I collect money from it, I've probably not done the best job I can do because I'm not excited about it, which means there's a good chance that somebody's overpaid me for that product or service. That's the difference. The difference is getting into myself deep enough to find what really drives me, what gets me going, and what's going to bring out that passion in me, and what's going to make me so happy that I can't wait to get up every single day and get started. I cannot wait. And that's how I live my life just about every day. It's not perfect. There are days I wake up and I don't feel that way. I'm not going to lie and say it's perfect all the time. I'd be lying. It's not like that, but it's like that most of the time, and it's like that a lot more of the time these days for me than it ever was 5 or 10 years ago. As I progressed in my business life and my personal life and every other aspects of my life, by applying a certain set of principles in my life and learning how to live by them, I've learned to live life with passion, and that's what I want to talk about. The whole focus of the 12 steps is going to be driven on how to find that passion, how to feed that passion, and how to make sure I don't cross that line where things start driving me blindly and then I'm no longer happy because now I'm doing what I'm doing because I have to do it instead of doing what I'm doing because I want to do it. And there is a huge difference, and that's where we break off. And we're going to break up my 12 steps into steps 1 through 6, where we're going to find out who I really am, and steps 7 through 12, we're going to find out who I want to be and where's that passion going to take me. And I'm going to make sure that I take care not to break off and go from being passionate about what I'm doing to being driven blindly by it. That's my goal. That's my message. I hope you'll tune in and watch these videos. I think you'll get something out of it. And of course, what have you got to lose? They're free.